thanks for coming back. I just thought I'd do another quick makeup look today. So just to save time, I've already done my skincare. I've put on the Cetaphil Daily Lotion with hyaluronic acid. That's a really, really good drugstore brand moisturizer. And I went in today with the NARS, and this is the Smooth and Protect Primer. So the reason I'm using quite a moisturizing primer is because I'm going to be using the Huda Foundation stick. It is a great foundation stick, but you do need to make sure that you've got your skincare on and that your skin is nice and moisturized to get the best look from it. So this is in the color Shortbread 200B, and that's exactly the same color I was in with their foundation. It looks like a lot of the Huda stick, but it's not that much, and I'm going to tone it down a bit with a sponge. So I'm just going to go around with my brush and blend that in, and this just blends in so well. It really gives a nice coverage. I think it's more velvet coverage, and it's not too full coverage. So if you liked the other Huda foundation but you just thought it was a bit too much, this is definitely not the same consistency. So what I'm going to do is just to smooth that out even more, because I did put a fair bit on, is just blend that down with my sponge and make sure it's all soaked into my skin properly. I'm going to use the Geo Concealer. I just got this at the end of last year, and I absolutely love it. It's really good. It's a bit of a fave at the moment, I've got to say. Just going to blend that out with my sponge. I'm just putting a little bit of extra coverage on my chin because that's where my makeup wears most of the day. I don't know, I must touch my face a lot. I do touch my face a lot, more than I realise. So I'm going to just give myself a little bit of extra coverage. I could have just put on some more of the foundation stick. Put whatever's left on my sponge onto my eyelids. So I've been trying out the Trinny London products. You would have already seen the Trinny video that went up before this one. And one of the products I've been seeing if it goes with other brands is the Miricle Blur. I wanted to try it over the Huda and see how it went. So where I want to sort of blur a little bit, and I'm only using a tiny amount, so it's quite economical in terms of you're not using heaps. I feel like I have texture between my eyebrows, and I also feel like I have a little bit of texture here. So I'm just adding it in there. And I was actually watching one of Trinny's videos the other day, and she used it to also tame down the glow from one of her foundations that she was wearing. And I didn't even know that that would work, but it does. It sort of mattifies out the foundation. So that's another really good use for it. Make sure it's all blended in though, because it is quite thick. And it seems to mix pretty well with other foundations. Sometimes when you add different products, like different brands to different products, they don't gel well together. I've used it with It Cosmetics CC cream. I've used it with Giorgio Armani foundation serum. I've used it with the Revolution CC cream. It's really, really doing a good job. I'm just going to use this bronzing stick from Nude, and this is in the colour Bondi Bay. It does have a brush at the bottom, although for the purpose of not keeping you here all day, I'm just going to do this really quickly. I'm just going to quickly just put that on the tip of my nose, and that was the Hourglass Concealer because it's just what I picked up, but it doesn't really matter what brand of concealer you use. It doesn't matter what brand of anything you use. I think there's a lot of pressure on people to go out and buy makeup because that's what people are using and all of that sort of stuff, and I think you just use what you've got. Shop your stash. To use the Mercier powder, tried and true, translucent. So this is just a Real Techniques brush, and I'm just tapping off the excess. I'm going to start under my eyes. I'm just going to set my eyes with that. I'm not going to bother using an eye primer. If you have a good concealer and you work it in, and then you set your eyes with your translucent powder, you don't necessarily need to have an eye primer. So if you don't have one, don't feel like you need to run out and buy one. It's all about just putting something down on your eyelid that will help support the shadow that you're going to put on top and give the shadow something to cling to. I'm also going to add in some of the Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow. Beautiful product. I'm just adding back a bit more colour into that. And I'm just stamping it in. I'm not rubbing it through. Just Huda's products are quite fragrant. So a lot of people don't like it. It's a tiny bit fragrance, but nothing at all like her last foundation. So if that's something that concerns you about it, it's not as bad as the last one. And I'm just going to now go into the highlight side here. It just gives that glow from within, but it's not at all glittery. Highlights that are glittery for me, they probably have a time and a place, but for day-to-day use, I don't sort of want to wear a highlighter on my face that you can see glitter bits. We've got this neighbour, it's been raining for a few days here, and he's decided that despite the fact that it's been raining all night and looks like it's going to rain again, he needs to get up and blow away all his leaves with his leaf blower at 6 o'clock in the morning. Thank you so much. I tell you, some days I could very easily go and live on a farm. I'm just going to use my little mini Benefit eyebrow pencil. This is in the shade 3.5. I'm just going to put on some of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Finishing Powder just under my eyes and on my T-zone, just to give me a little bit more coverage. I'm just doing the top of my nose, not the sides, just so my makeup doesn't wear off, because I sort of like to do my makeup and then forget about it. For blush, we're going to use the Charlotte Tilbury blush and just pop it on. The reason I like to try lots of different combinations of makeup together is because makeup's expensive. And if you're going to think about going and buying a foundation and a concealer in one particular brand, it's good to know that you can mix it with another brand and it's going to come out okay. Because there really are some brands that just don't gel together. And that could be something as simple as the fact that you're using a water-based foundation and you've got an oil-based primer on or something like that. But I just like to know that whatever I'm using, I can just put it with pretty much whatever I have and it's going to be fine. This is the Fenty palette and this is the Fenty #1. So all I need to do is grab a brush and I'm just going to go in with this colour here, this beigey colour, and I'm just popping that down so my eyelids are all going to be one colour, which they pretty much were anyway because of the powder. The foundation powder is not as finely milled as an eyeshadow. So an eyeshadow I put down under whatever I do, a colour like this, and it just makes it sort of a little bit more of an insurance policy for creasing and shadows not taking. And you can also put it under your eyes a little bit. So if you feel that your eyes need a bit more of a pickup and that your concealer hasn't done enough for you, or you just want a bit of extra, there's no reason why you can't take this under your eyes and even into the inner corner here, keeping in the whole theme of continuing to try out lots of different Trinny products. This I've already used before, and this is the Her Eye to Eye in the colour Emperor. And I'm just going to run that along my lash line, like tight line my lash with it pretty much. So once I've got it on, I'm just gonna go in, bring it outwards with the brush. These are made to use with your fingers. So now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna sort of work it into that layer of powder we have under the eye there. I'm just gonna do the same thing on the other side. So that I sort of gonna go now and try some more with my finger. Just gonna put it a little bit darker. The next colour of Trinny's that I want to try is Kate. It's a sort of different toned brown. So the first one was like a really chocolatey colour brown, that was called Emperor, and this is Kate. I'm just gonna put that on the my lower eyelid. And I'll stop at the crease. We've got that warmy chocolate brown, and then we've got this cooler brown. I'm gonna get this Fenty palette again. I'm gonna go into the chocolate brown here. I'm also gonna put that through the crease, but I'm gonna dump most of it in the outer corner and just intensify that a little bit. And by putting an eyeshadow on top of that cream, it'll also help set that cream in place. These pencils are fantastic. They're 24/7 Urban Decay Glide-On eye pencils. They're very comparable to the IT Cosmetics pencils, if you've used those. They're really good, really soft, really jelly, really easy to use, and they stay on for ages. I'm gonna go under and tight line underneath my eye here. And I'm also gonna go along the waterline underneath. I'm trying to do it so you guys can see what I'm doing. And if you have trouble getting it onto your top layer of your eyes, what you can do is just put the pencil on the bottom layer and just keep blinking and bringing it down like that, and just go across, keep blinking. Tilbury palette again, and I'm just going to grab some of the highlighter and I'm just going to put that in here like this. I'm going to take some of this Veebee and Honor. And again, this is a Trinny product. I'm going to go in with the lightest shade. I'm just going to pop that on my lips. If you wanted to vamp this look up, all you need to do is maybe make your shadows a bit darker, maybe put something shimmery on your eyes, or even some more highlighter across the mobile lids. And then try on maybe a darker lipstick. And this is the full fat lashes. I really love it. Doing my usual thing. So the first coat I try and go in quite lightly and just set them in place where I want them. My eyelashes, that is. And I let that dry. And then the second coat, I usually do a little bit more. This will last all day. You have to remove it with makeup remover because it won't flake away and it won't smudge even if you cry. And I'm not a crier, but even sort of with the humidity in Australia, it's not gonna move. So that's a bit of shadow insurance for you right there. And then I'm just gonna finish up with some Fix Plus spray. I hope you like it. I hope it was informative. I hope it was helpful. Please don't forget to follow and subscribe. And if there's something you want to see, let me know. Send me a DM. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.